Welcome back to another season here at Mountain Lodge Outdoors. Now, for those of you that have followed us since the beginning, you know we had a rough year last year, but I can guarantee you the team has pushed themselves to the limit to bring you what we believe is our best season ever. So as usual, sit back, relax, and welcome to Mountain Lodge Outdoors. Mountain Lodge Outdoors is brought to you by Covert Scouting Cameras. Now this week on Mountain Lodge Outdoors, the guys from Overdrive were nice enough to invite me up for a long weekend of coyote hunting in the UP. We head up there, and the one thing I didn't count on is that the only thing harder than getting Josh Mapes to actually hit what he's aiming at is getting him across the Mackinac Bridge.
Seriously, you fall off the bridge in the truck, the odds are you ain't getting out of it. You probably dead before you hit the water.
Watch me.
Don't leave me in here. About to hit the old bridge.
Maybe he's shaking.
I don't like bridges very much that go over water. I'm filming back here.
What else did they put a bridge over?
I like
It's, without the water, it's just a road. Yeah, here, swim the rest of the way if you want.
I can't swim.
Really?
I got like a death.
Good to know. Good to know.
Mom's watching. She said, keep your finger down.
And keep it up. You'll get another one.
You can look down through right here, Tom.
I know.
Really?
Yeah, you can see through this right here.
Open the door.
I don't remember it being like
Wait,
this.
so Josh's butt squeak.
Probably because I'm never watching as we drive over.
You got your eyes closed. Did you just pull this straight out of your change purse? We made it across the bridge safe and sound. By the time we got into camp, moved in all our gear, got some food in our bellies, it was time to head out and make that first stand. The sun was going down, and it didn't take long for things to kick into gear. About 10 minutes on set, this coyote comes screaming in from behind him. We didn't have any choice but to send Kevin around, put him into the trees, and try and cut it off before it got far enough downwind that it got our scent. Unfortunately, no shot presented itself. We had to hustle and things got pretty hectic after that. We ended up sending Mapes down a tree line. Coyote stepped out. He held a little bit over its back when he really didn't need to. Long story short, first Mapes of the trip. But to make things fair, that put me and him even because I missed a little bit of a long poke the night before.
Dude, Tony Tebby long wind rally.
Yep.
And Tony says, coyote coming out the back corner. I mean, it was just, I ended up hitting the coax button on that new Icotech remote, and it started coming, and I'm like, oh, there he comes. And about 3 miles out there, he's facing us.
It wasn't that far. It wasn't that far. It was 300 yards, but it wasn't 3 miles.
And it's facing us, just stopped right there. Boom! I mean, out of nowhere, no warning, no nothing.
This segment brought to you by Nature's Paint Face Camo. Easy on, easy off. Now that first set didn't go exactly as we would have liked, but it was still early and we had a lot of ground to cover. Night wasn't over yet. We headed out to the next spot, and only a couple of minutes on set, we had a coyote closing ground fast. Now with where this shot hit, I have no clue how that coyote ran after it was shot. But he took that bullet like a champ and made it about 70 yards over the hill. And that's all she wrote. One coyote already in the truck and only a couple hours left until daylight. We decided to head back out for one more set, see if we couldn't end the night on a strong note. Now this one took a little longer, but I think you'll like how it goes. Kevin made a great shot on that coyote. It's really easy to track them when they don't go anywhere. But the sun was starting to come up. We had enough time to go do one more set. It ended up being a blank. So we headed to bed, got up the next morning, went out to do a little bit of scouting, try and put a couple more spots into the rotation for night number 2.
No.
You follow this road, it goes up to the back left corner of that split field.
Oh.
Damn.
Can come in from the other side of it?
Yeah. And this is then, there was coyotes howling in here last night.
Yep. That's what I was just thinking.
You could probably turn around and take back off that way.
All right. we just went out. We're doing a little driving around the backside of this farm and trying to find maybe one new spot to throw into the rotation tonight instead of just the sets that we did last night. And I think we found a spot. We're gonna have to split up a little bit to get where we can see around both sides of the tree. So impromptu, I look up and get cued, and Mapes is watering my tires, and he found another tick. That's 7 now that we've picked out of the cab of the truck. They are migrating from the bed of the truck where the infestation of tick-ridden coyotes was laying, and now they have moved into the cab and are crawling along the ceiling and dropping on us like something out of a horror movie. So we're going to continue scouting, and I think we're going to put a couple extra places into the rotation this evening and try and put a couple more hanging from the pole by morning.
This segment brought to you by K&D's Camo Connection, your one-stop shop for all things outdoors.
There's a big alpha female there. She was the first one leading the way. Now don't confuse this sound with the Mapes mating call. This is a specific deer call. They're over there watching us right now.
They're both a special kind of stupid.
That was a little bit more aggressive call. Now you can see she's coming again. We think that she may have some young over there.
You think there's a crow eating our baby?
I'm shaking the camera. Stop.
Yip, yip.
Hey, lady.
Yip. That's pretty neat.
Oh, gee dang it. There they go.
Had to shake the earth up a little.
Yeah, you gotta shake things up a little and kind of call out to them, you know. This is how serious hunters spend their weekend.
Serious.
And this
Absolutely.
is also, I gotta turn this around a little bit because we gotta get dipstick back there in the shot.
Hey,
This is also why
on.
we will never be considered professionals
we have too much fun.
or specialists.
Well, we're special.
Yeah, we're special. I'm still not real sure why I hang out with either one of these guys. But after an intense day of scouting, we decided to head back, get our gear on, and head out for the night. The first couple sets, we really didn't have anything going on. We had some vocals, and we were able to kind of pinpoint where the coyotes were coming from, where we needed to be to adjust and make something happen. We ended up going back to where Kevin killed his the first night. And it took a little longer, but things kind of shook out. Now, as soon as this coyote steps out and I turn my light on, I realize something's wrong. It's not supposed to look like that. I found out later on I was running 2 batteries, and you're only supposed to run 1 with an infrared bulb. I was burning my bulb out. I could smell it. Luckily, it made it through this set. right after that shot, my infrared bulb completely died. I was blind. The coyote was still trying to get up, believe it or not. We don't like to let animals suffer, so Kevin came over with his rifle, made a very quick, ethical shot, put the coyote down. That ended night number 2. So we got 3 on the pole now. It's been a good trip, but we got one more night to go out and go after these song dogs. So when we come back, we'll be back in the field to take one last crack at them. Well, it's night number 3, and a new development changed our game plan. Landowner came and told us that he moved all his cattle from one pasture where they've been calving for the last couple of weeks over into a grazing pasture on the other side of the road, which opened up that entire field and all the wood lines around it. So, where to start?
Keep running. Right left.
So we ended our Michigan trip with 4 coyotes hanging in camp. It was an amazing trip. I saw a country up there that was unlike anything I've ever seen. And we made some really good memories. These two, as hard a time as we give each other, they're really like brothers to me. And it's not just because Kevin needs me to get things off of high shelves for him or because Mapes still wets the bed. They're like brothers because we can hunt together for a weekend like this and have an amazing time. And I can go months without seeing them or hunting with them, and we fall right back into a groove when we get together again. It's really nice to have that kind of bond over predator hunting. I think all of us enjoy it more than any other type of hunting that there is. And these two are always willing to help people. They've taught me a lot since I got into this. I'm a rookie, and they really know what they're doing. So when I get to go on a trip like this, I pay attention, I learn what I can, and just try and become better at the other end of it. And I think that's always the goal. So hopefully you guys enjoyed watching us put some fur on the ground, and until next time, stay safe, shoot straight.
I haven't seen it on. No, I don't. You look ravishing in the Mountain Mods gear. I don't want to see you in a camouflage jumper. Oh, it's happening. It's not even a jumper. It's like a singlet with no chest.
My eyes are still watering. I'm flowered. Let's find some nice goldenrods so they have a good place to rest. Something peaceful. Oh, man. Oh, up here, there are pieces, alright. Full pieces falling off of them.
4 days of hunting and 15 hours of sleep. Followed by 4 pudding-filled coyotes.
Flesh bags of pudding with a fly infestation and a very healthy maggot crop.
Damn near thought we shot a wolf on the one. Of course, it wasn't that big at day 1.
No. It's doubled in size.
The smallest is now the largest.
Holy tink tink.
Mountain Lodge Outdoors is brought to you by
man.
Covert Scouting Camera.